Okay, so I would like to start our presentation for PMO Global Awards nomination. The presentation title is Next Generation R&D PMO, executed by RIT. And so this is a very unique initiatives to establish a very unique PMO we call FMDL, Future Merchant Design Lab. So I will explain about this in detail in this presentation. Uh, Here is the content. So I will explain about the overview and historical things and structure and objectives. And then I will talk about the result and so next further step. First of all, I would like to introduce the company overview. So our company is Rakuten. So Rakuten is the biggest e-commerce company in Japan. Not only e-commerce, so we have a variety of businesses. The number of businesses Rakuten has is over 70. So we run the e-commerce business. So we run the internet travel agency. So we have Rakuten credit card business. We have Rakuten Bank, Rakuten Securities. So we have video streaming business. We have a telecommunications company, and so on and so forth. And we have even professional baseball team, and we have even professional football team. Well, I think it's enough. So the number of businesses is over 70, 70. So Rakuten was established in 1997, and Rakuten has been growing very quickly. And now, so we have over 22,000 employees and more globally. The number of customers is over 1.7 billion all over the world. Next, I will introduce RIT, so which is a research institute for Rakuten Group. So RIT so stands for Rakuten Institute of Technology. So it's a dedicated and strategic research institute to Rakuten Group. So we launched the RIT in 2005 with the vision so to leverage academic knowledge insight approach to the business growth of Rakuten. And so Rakuten has been growing and expanding to the world. Along with that, so we are growing. And now we have over 150 researchers in several locations. So Tokyo, Boston, San Mateo, Paris, Singapore, and Bengaluru. So out of 150 researchers, so most of them have a PhD on computer science. And basically, so we think much of researchers' preference or so what researchers want to do or what researchers think seriously of. And based on such kind of a viewpoint, so we identify the research project and conduct researches and deliver the great solutions to the company, Rakuten Group. So based on our researchers' preferences, so we recently working on the AI or deep learning project. But not only that, so we are working on IoT or user experience project or something like that. So I will explain about our strategy for delivering the research output to the business. We have a hypothesis that the way for research institute to plan and do proof of concept and try to deliver solution to business side. So want to work well, basically. I mean, now for example, the researchers, the plan research project and conduct researches within research institute. And then, so researchers develop a prototype or make a presentation and demonstrate it to business side. But this is a kind of up to traditional approach, but it doesn't work well. So in our way, so we engage business people in planning from the beginning phase. And so we are thinking collaboratively how to do research or what research to do. And so plus, so if we want to reflect the expert knowledge, more special knowledge from the academia, so we will actively involve the people or professors or students from the academia to the research project. Now, through that, so basically, at the very beginning, now we will plan, discuss, and start research project together with business people and involving academic people as appropriate. So that's our strategy. And through that, we will make innovation and continuously deliver solutions to the company. So in that strategy, so we have been collaborating with many universities so far. So collaborative projects are very, very wide. It goes from AI project to a robotics project to a IoT project to a AR, VR, MR project to data science project to a machine translation project, so to a product design or to the economics analysis. So we have a variety of projects with a variety of universities. Now, for example, University of Tsukuba, Waseda University, Tohoku University, Chubu University, Stanford University. So in the past, we had a collaborative project with MIT. So we have now collaborative project with Carnegie Mellon University, University of Technology Sydney, and National University of Singapore, and etc., etc. In project, so on IoT or digital signage projects or AR, VR, or user experience, so we had many, many collaborations with Tsukuba University and delivered actual solutions to the businesses. That, for example, that we developed the AR applications. So we developed a new digital signage solutions. So we developed the VR solutions for the sightseeing, and we developed the new touch screen solutions with Tsukuba universities. In those research areas, so like IoT or like AR, VR, MR, or like the product design. So we have the excellent researchers. So not only in Tokyo, but also in other locations like RIT Paris. So to make a great progress with Tsukuba University, so we involved the design researchers from RIT Paris. So inevitably, the collaborative project with Tsukuba University became the international project, and we needed to implement so project management so across the globe. So to discuss what we should do and to plan and design the project work stream. And so not only that, so to define the segregation of duties across locations. And of course, sometimes, so we wanted to synchronize ourselves on the direction so across the globe. So we needed to implement the project management across locations. Plus, so we introduced so these activities with so Tsukuba University, so involving researchers from RIT Paris. So some merchants so raised their hands, so show the positive responses to us and to join our research project as a research partner. So for the envisioning the physical shops. So basically, these merchants thought seriously of the future of physical shops. So how do they add a new value to the physical shop for the customer? So generally, we can see the many technology solutions emerging. And so, for example, smartphone applications, so IoT things, so digital signage, AI, or something like that. So there are many visionary so landscapes, but most of them are focusing on the future of users, future of end users, or future of consumers. But it's difficult for you to find the future of physical shops. So we discussed that with these merchants, and we identified the necessity of envisioning the physical shops. And so we involved these passionate merchants into our project. So at the first, so we conducted each research project with a variety of parties. So like university students, university professors, the merchants, and like so the researchers from other locations. So we conducted each research one by one. But sooner or later, so we felt the necessity to establish PMO type organization to manage projects at a higher level. So we launched Future Merchant Design Laboratory here. So this is a history and the time frame. So in 2016, we started joint laboratory with Tsukuba University. In 2017, some merchants raised their hand to join our activities. So, and then we launched FMDL, Future Merchant Design Lab, so to execute a variety of projects. So far, so it's a scope of this presentation. After this, it's out of the scope of this presentation. But after that, so we involved more business partners, and we were expanding, and we've got many partnerships with local government, and so we are expanding. The first, so back in 2016, so we established the joint laboratory as a campus of Tsukuba University. So with more than 15 professors and more than 60 students. So this joint laboratory so gave a space so where students learned how to design the new shops, how to add the new value from information technologies to the physical shop. And of course, so our researchers so gave them advice, and at the same time, so a student also could get advice or suggestion or proposal from professors, and through this kind of so communication in the laboratory, so student and professors and we reflected our important viewpoints about the future of physical shops to the actual project, and we started the new projects. So after the launch of joint laboratory within the campus of Tsukuba University, so we started the PMO type organization within RIT. It's called Future Merchant Design Laboratory. So we started FMDL, or Future Merchant Design Laboratory, with only 3 people. But now, so we are expanding the scope of FMDL, and we are involving many stakeholders. So we have the 6 PMO type people for FMDL. So, but by the way, so RIT has other dedicated PMO organization named Liaison Office, so with 25 members. But basically, the FMDL is separate from it. So FMDL is at the center of the new type of projects. So to envision the future of physical shops, so with many stakeholders. So universities and the merchants, and now so we are expanding. And basically we would like to deliver the new idea or new concept of the future of the physical shops. And through that, so we would like to encourage or empower the people, especially working for a physical shop, and the society. So FMDL is also a very unique team, and basically the cross-functional team in other sense. So we treated FMDL as the very unique PMO type organization. So the FMDL was established as the equivalent level to the RIT office in each country. Now, for example, the FMDL is at the equivalent level to the RIT Tokyo or RIT Paris, RIT San Mateo, or something like that. And the FMDL can work horizontally as a kind of a cross-functional team. And so the FMDL can involve the researchers from RIT Tokyo, from RIT Paris, and not only that, so professors and students from Tsukuba University, and not only that, so FMDL can involve staff from merchants. And to organize and orchestrate the actual project. And FMDL play an important role to manage and progress actual project. So you can see the many people in this slide. So that means FMDL has many stakeholders and project members. For example, so left hand side and so lower. So this photo is a photo of a student from Tsukuba University. And upper side and the right side, so they are the professors in Tsukuba University. So interestingly, we involved the professors from computer science space. Not only that, so Tsukuba University has a faculty of art and has a faculty of product design. So we involved the professors from a product design space and art space. And so right-hand side and lower side, so it's a photo of the merchants and FMDA members. And so as a result, so please look at the left-hand side and upper side. So this is a photo of the one meeting. So there are people from a variety of the teams. Some member from FMDA and some member from so other PMO organization of RIT, some person from a merchant, some person from other teams, and something like that. So the FMDL needed a tool. So these a variety of people to be on the same page. Yes, so in various locations such as Tokyo and Kobe, because a merchant has a shop in Kobe and Tsukuba, so Tsukuba University and Paris, etc., etc. Of course, so at first it was very difficult to define the research content envisioning the future shop, but so actively FMDL members visited so Tokyo, Kobe, Tsukuba, Paris, and so on, and so orchestrate discussions and keep the stakeholders on the same board in the same direction. And so FMDL contributed to the progress of the projects and delivering actual results. But through long discussions with many stakeholders, so FMDL finalized the problem statement for the fashion clothes shop and their communication with shoppers. I mean, basically, that there are the fundamental difficulties for a physical shop in terms of communication. Now, for example, so fashion styling staff needs to communicate with shoppers in person, of course. But sometimes shop staff so cannot work on the site. And so sometimes, for example, so the many of shop staffs are female, and so from time to time, so for example, they got married, or sometimes so they gave birth to their children, babies. So in some cases, so they needed to work remotely, but if they are shop staff, especially the shop staff for a fashion shop, so they needed to be on the site in communicating with customers. So there are problems. And for example, that is a distance problem. And another point is, so physical shop has a space limitation. But recently, the customer's preference has been diversified. And the different customers have different preferences for clothes. And how do they meet each customer's preference or customer's request with a limited space and a limited inventory? So that's the problem of space. And the third one is, so recently, more people feel so nervous about communication in person. So especially in fashion shop. So how do they effectively and verbally communicate with customers? So not to make customers get nervous. So there are three problems. That, for example, so distance problem, so remote work problem, and the space problem, and pressure, nervousness in communication. So utilizing IoT technologies. So we decided to try to realize a fashion styling service with a augmented digital signage and virtual clothes. And not only that, so we decided to try to create a relaxing atmosphere through augmented remote communication. So this is a project formation, project structure. So product design, UX design, so was handled by Tsukuba University, and so R&D work so was handled by researchers in RIT, and so Zuti, so fashion merchant, so provided the actual information about the fashion shop, or so provided gave the feedback to the researchers and universities. And FMDL so coordinated this project. So utilizing IoT network distance signage, so we wanted to solve a distance problem. And of course, so the fashion styling with virtual clothes. So we wanted to solve the space limitation. And with augmented remote communication, so we wanted to solve the nervousness of communication. So we also involved the fashion magazine named Fudge, and actually so developed and demonstrated the future experimental shop at the Shinagawa of Tokyo. So this is the actual video to show the atmosphere of the experimental shop. So shopper enters our experimental shop and stands in front of a digital signage. And so from remote, the shop staff communicate to a customer in a very, very funny voice. And not only that, shop staff suggest or propose the fashion styling, so like this. And so right-hand side, so the proposed fashion items are shown in the digital signage. And after this, this shows the QR code. If you scan the QR code, so you can get detailed information about the suggested items at your smartphone. Okay, and this is another video about behind the scene. So shop staff is communicating with consumer from remote, and so they can just use a PC, and through that, so they can effectively communicate with the consumer. So actually, we confirmed the effect of the solution. So the solution helped to solve the limitation problem, limitation space, limitation the inventory of offline shops. And not only that, so we are confirmed that if the augmented the communication can help the effective, the familiar, friendly communication with customers. So moreover, this project, this experimental shop made a big buzz and got very popular by many young people. So especially fashion savvy teenagers. So our demonstration was conducted in a rainy day, unfortunately, but it created 1 hour line all the day. I mean, so the customers made a very, very long line throughout the day. So it was very popular. And so this project was evaluated highly as a state-of-the-art project to utilize digital signage and IoT technologies. But not only that, so to propose the new utilization of IoT technologies for the remote work. So we've got ours from Digital Signage Consortium and the Japan IT Association. But we didn't stop there. So we confirmed the effectiveness of this solution. And so merchants understood, so got to understand. Uh, so if the you utilize the technologies like this, so you can realize so remote effective communications with customers even in fashion shop. So the merchants suggested, so we would like to expand it and take a further step. So we involved the automobile company, the Nissan, for this project. And we put so our virtual styling room into a electric car. And we demonstrated new mobile car enabling remote fashion styling communication. We showcased it at the CTEC, which is the biggest consumer electric exhibition in Japan. And we've got taken up by BBC and NHK World. So this is a video by NHK World. And furthermore, so this activities so was introduced to all merchants of Rakuten. And so so Rakuten has over 48,000 merchants. And so this became a very impressive news to the merchants, especially the merchant who thought seriously of the future of our physical shops. So many merchants having physical shops so contacted us to join FMDL project, Future Merchant Design Lab project. And so we started a variety of projects in many locations of Japan with many merchants. And for example, we've got now a sweet shop. We've got now so the fruit shop, grocery stores, and we've got so the very interesting so mountain goods shop, and we've got a new fashion shops and something like that. So we got many new merchants, and that means So we needed to start, so not only the project management, but also so program management. Furthermore, so we've got contacts from many local government, so many local city prefecture government, and they raised their hand to join our project. So especially in order to encourage the local areas. So so the in Japan, so Tokyo has been so growing continuously, but other areas, so other local areas are much behind that trend. So in particular, so in terms of utilization of IT, utilization of for example, digital signage or of course, internet, or in terms of so new payment, mobile payment service or something like that. And so not only merchants, so local governments so contacted us about so how do they energize on the local areas, and not only that, how should they utilize so new technologies for the future of local areas. So that's a new challenge to us. And so now we are communicating with so many businesses in Rakuten Group. For example, the e-commerce business, so credit card business, electric money business, so mobile payment business. So we are talking to the travel agency business of Rakuten. And so now we are so involving. So we get many stakeholders from other businesses, and in order to give a answer to the so local governments as well. So from now onward, so we would like to systemize so our approaches, and of course also we will learn a lot from best practices of project management. And in that context, so we may wanna install PPPM practices, so project program portfolio management practices. And if possible, so actually we made the many projects succeed so far for envisioning the future of physical shop. But so utilizing this experience, so leveraging this, so we want to make the projects to encourage the local government so succeed so as well with so many stakeholders. Okay, so this is so last slide of my presentation. And basically, the FMDL is a little bit different from the traditional PMO. But actually, so their work is what PMO should do. So as a beginning, so we have the many merchants, and the different merchants have So different purpose. I mean, what do they want to do differently? And so we identified each purpose of each merchant. And so we started and conducted and succeeded the research project with them to envision the future of physical shop. But so not only that, so we've got, of course, many merchants and so many experts. And now, so we are expanding. So we've got many requests from the local government. So FMDL has contributed to the coordination and orchestration of those projects with many stakeholders. So it's not an easy way. So for us to, of course, so make people discuss the same things and define the project goal and keep them on the same board in the same direction. Yeah, it was a very, very difficult. But the FMDL members made huge efforts to get so different stakeholders so connected to others. So get one party to another party. And not only that, so 1+1 is 2. But FMDL, so make a synergy so between universities and merchant and other researchers and local governments, and so create so new projects not existing before and execute it. So I think so that's a very good example that to any PMO teams. So the purpose of PMO is not just to make a project succeed. So, but also how do we achieve the new value and contribute to the society? So in that sense, if our experience about FMDL can help other PMOs, so get a hint, get a clue for the further step. So we will be more than happy. So thank you very much. And so lastly, so I would like to say, so thank you for giving us opportunity to introduce our FMDL initiative and activity. Okay, thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.